Gold is one of the most coveted metals on Earth. For centuries, it has driven economies, funded empires, and sparked countless conflicts. And in today's global economy, gold remains as influential as ever. But what if we told you that in one of the world's major gold-producing countries, a leader has decided to take a stand against the system that has, for decades, kept his nation in a stranglehold? This isn't fiction, this is reality in Burkina Faso. Captain Ibrahim Traore, the young and determined leader of this West African nation, is making headlines with his audacious decision to ban all gold exports. Yes, you heard that right. He's stopping all gold from leaving the country. Why would Burkina Faso ban gold exports? To understand why Traore made this unprecedented move, we need to look at the bigger picture. Burkina Faso has been one of the poorest countries in the world, despite sitting on some of the richest gold reserves. Why is it that a country with so much wealth buried beneath its soil remains mired in poverty? The answer lies in a long history of exploitation dating back to the colonial era. For decades, foreign companies, primarily from Western countries, have had a stranglehold over Burkina Faso's gold. They come in, mine the gold, and ship it back home, leaving only a fraction of the profits behind. Meanwhile, the people of Burkina Faso see very little of the wealth generated from their own land. Now, think about it. What would you do if you were in Captain Ibrahim Traore's position? If you were the leader of a country rich in resources but poor in wealth, would you continue to allow others to profit from your country's treasures? Or would you decide enough is enough? Taking back control, Traore's audacious decision. Captain Ibrahim Traore, who took power in 2022, decided it was time for Burkina Faso to break free from these golden chains. He started by issuing a sweeping ban on gold exports in 2024. This move wasn't just a spur-of-the-moment decision, it was a calculated strategy to reclaim control over Burkina Faso's abundant gold resources and ensure the wealth generated from these resources benefits the country's citizens, not foreign corporations. But Traore didn't stop there. He went a step further by revoking the mining permits of all foreign companies, including even Russian firms, to reclaim total control over the country's resources. This decision sent shockwaves across the global gold market. Major players like B2Gold, Nordgold, Endeavour Mining, Semafo, Fortuna Silver Mines, and Hummingbird Resources were directly impacted, and they quickly realized that this wasn't just another policy change. It was a complete overhaul, building allies and strengthening resolve. Traore knew he couldn't do this alone. He carefully built a coalition of influential allies, both inside and outside the country, before making this bold move. By aligning himself with nationalists, economic reformists, and other influential figures, he created a support base that would stand by him in his quest for economic independence. But how did he manage to cancel these licenses, and what are his plans for the gold that will remain within Burkina Faso? In recent years, Traore had grown increasingly frustrated with the state of his country. Burkina Faso had the third largest gold reserves in Africa, but it remained one of the poorest countries in the world. Every year, foreign companies extracted between 10 to 30 tons of gold, but only a tiny fraction of the profits stayed in Burkina Faso. Most of the gold, and the wealth it generated, ended up in Europe and North America. Captain Traore asked himself, why should his country's gold enrich foreign powers while his people remained in poverty? Colonial chains and unfair trade, France's role. Traore soon realized that part of the answer lay in the history books. During his military service, he observed how France, the former colonial power, continued to exert enormous influence over Burkina Faso's economy. French companies were prioritized for mining licenses, and Burkina Faso's gold exports were sold at prices that were far below market rates. Meanwhile, the CFA franc, the currency used by Burkina Faso and several other West African countries, was pegged to the euro at a fixed rate, another relic of colonial rule. This arrangement made it difficult for Burkina Faso to compete in the global market and stifled its potential gold earnings. Even worse, France often manipulated the CFA franca's value after acquiring significant amounts of gold from Burkina Faso, effectively paying less than the original price. This exploitation wasn't just economic, it was also political. France exerted undue influence over Burkina Faso's government to ensure that policies favored French mining interests. Traore saw how France's actions ensured that Burkina Faso remained dependent on foreign powers, unable to control its own destiny. He knew that if his country was ever going to break free, it needed to reclaim control over its natural resources. A vision for economic sovereignty. Captain Traore didn't waste any time. In August 2024, he inaugurated Burkina Faso's first treasury deposits bank in Ouagadougou, a pivotal move towards achieving financial sovereignty. The BDT is designed to serve as a public financial institution that provides banking services to all citizens, from urban centers to the most remote villages. Its primary mission? To handle the banking functions of the public treasury, offering services like account management, resource collection, and transaction processing. By creating a bank that stretches across regional, provincial, and departmental treasuries, Traore aimed to make financial services accessible to everyone in Burkina Faso. This is more than just the launch of a bank. It's a critical step toward reclaiming the nation's financial sovereignty, allowing the country to manage its resources without foreign interference, ending the gold rush. But the ban on gold exports wasn't just about national pride. It was about practical economics. Captain Traore wanted to use Burkina Faso's gold reserves to back up a new currency, breaking away from the CFA franc and introducing a currency that would be truly independent of foreign control. He understood that a gold-backed currency could provide Burkina Faso with a stable foundation for its economy, reducing inflation and increasing investor confidence. By keeping the gold in the country, Traore hopes to use it to stabilize the new currency, potentially making it one of the most valuable in the world. He also took steps to prevent illegal gold exports. In July 2023, Burkina Faso's government updated the 2015 mining code, implementing new regulations to create a more structured and transparent industry. These changes included the creation of a national gold reserve and a requirement for mining companies to contribute to this reserve, combat terrorism, and enhance economic stability. As of 2020, gold accounted for 37% of Burkina Faso's total exports, and the mining sector is a vital source of employment. Of all the gold produced in the country, nearly half is extracted through artisanal mining, involving around 1 million people. Unfortunately, this has also made it easier for terrorists and jihadists to take control of several gold mines to fund their activities. In 2022, Captain Traore stated that a significant amount of gold leaves Burkina Faso through fraudulent means, which in turn helps fuel terrorism. The ongoing terrorism has led to the closure of 4 industrial mines and the abandonment of nearly 700 artisanal mining sites, reducing the country's total gold output. The suspension of gold exports is aimed first at cutting off a major source of funding for terrorists, and second, at addressing the challenges facing the mining sector to enhance its contribution to the nation's economic development. But Captain Traore did not stop at banning gold exports. He also suspended the issuance of export permits for artisanal and semi-mechanized gold and other precious commodities. In simple terms, no gold mined in Burkina Faso will leave the country. According to Traore, this move is necessary to clean up and better organize the mining sector. Challenges and resistance from foreign powers. Of course, this wasn't without resistance. The decision to ban gold exports has sparked outrage among Western nations whose gold markets have been disrupted. Countries that have historically benefited from Burkina Faso's resources are now seeing their profits decline. But Captain Traore remains undeterred. He's aware of the challenges ahead, but he's also determined to see his vision through. Traore's government has already halted the issuance of export permits for artisanal and semi-mechanized gold mining, closed 43 gold mining sites in the Boucle du Mouhoun region, citing security concerns, and launched the country's first gold refinery in Ouagadougou. The refinery is expected to produce 400 kilograms of gold per day, ensuring that Burkina Faso retains knowledge and control over the true content of its raw gold. Is this the beginning of an African renaissance? What does this all mean for the future of Burkina Faso and Africa? Will other African leaders follow Traore's example and ban the export of gold and other precious metals to reclaim control over their natural resources? Uganda, Nigeria, Tanzania, and Madagascar are already taking steps to bolster their gold reserves and diversify away from the US dollar, wary of relying too heavily on foreign currencies. Could this be the beginning of an African economic renaissance, where countries reclaim control over their resources and achieve true independence? Captain Traore's actions are bold, but they are also risky. He is challenging a global system that has been in place for centuries. But for Burkina Faso, the potential rewards are enormous. Economic sovereignty, financial independence, and a chance to rewrite the rules of the game. So, what do you think? Should more African countries take similar steps to protect their resources and control their economic futures? Can Africa truly thrive by taking back control of its wealth? Or will the pressures from foreign powers be too great? We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more updates on Africa's geopolitics, economy, and changing landscape. Let's continue this conversation and explore how nations like Burkina Faso are redefining their futures.